Hey everybody, it's me, Dustin Drunn with Guide Real Estate and Lockhart Bailey Group. I'm here with my really good friend Jen Finley with Good Life Home Inspections. Jen and I have been friends for, I don't know, several years now. And she was one of the very first people I met when I started in real estate. And she and her team came into our office and gave a really good presentation on, the features and benefits of what they offer for home inspection services. And being a brand new real estate agent, I was like, oh, this is cool, but having now been in the business now for a few years and understanding the importance of it, and as Jen and I have become better friends, and she's really become my go-to person for home inspections and the go-to company because I really trust her and what she and her company does. Um, I just want to give Jen an opportunity to like speak, number one. So Jen, introduce yourself if you wouldn't mind, and let us know a little about who you are and some real brief background on Good Life.
Okay. Well, Jen Finley with Good Life Inspections. Our company is formerly used to be called North American Home Services. And North American Home Services has actually been around for about 45 plus years. We recently changed our name to Good Life because our ownership actually owns 3 other divisions of the company under the Good Life name. So not only do we do inspections, but we have a construction side, a pest side, and also a restoration side. So dealing with fires, mostly, but also we do like water mitigation, debris removal. We do board up. So our company is pretty cool because we do have 4 different divisions where we can help you out in all different ways. But my specific role as a marketing director is mostly on the inspection side. So I've been in the inspection industry for, gosh, since 2007. So a long, long, long time. I should have my inspection license by now, but I don't. And I also have my real estate license as well. So I know exactly kind of what goes on with the real estate world and then on the inspection side. So it kind of ties together really, really well.
I think that's key for me because like when I talk to you as a realtor, like you kind of understand the language, you know what it is that I'm looking for, and you can kind of anticipate the things that that I need and my clients need too. And I noticed too, and I've sent you like messages and texts. I'm like, look at how many Good Life trucks there are on the road. All of a sudden they're everywhere. So if you're watching this and you live in the Sacramento area, you'll definitely notice now after watching this video that you'll see the Good Life contractor trucks and inspection trucks and vehicles on the road. You'll trust me,
All over.
reticular activating
Tons
system
of
will be
people.
in. Yep, totally. Well, thank you. So, the purpose of this little video really was to kind of educate and introduce, especially to anyone interested in real estate and buying or selling. And I think the inspection process is something that a lot of people maybe they know that it's a part of the process of buying and selling a home, but maybe they don't understand the impact that it has and what they should be looking for, um, while they're getting the inspection. Let's talk about, I mostly work with buyers right now. It's that kind of a market where there's more buyers than sellers. So, but we talked a little bit about earlier about like how it benefits both a buyer or a seller to utilize an inspection company. Let's talk about the seller first. So I know what my answer to this question would be, but what do you think are the benefits to a seller using an inspection company or getting inspections done pre-listing so that they can, have understand, what their house is all about at the time that they're trying to put on the market?
Well, I always promote the pre-listing inspections in a sense because you take control of the deal, right? You're ahead of the game. You lay it all out there. The findings are facts. You can't help what's going on with the house. That's what's going on. So whether you lay it out in the very beginning and disclose that to your buyers out there, I would think you'd rather do that so that way you're in the know. Like you can either make the repairs yourself or let it known like, hey, this is what's going on with the home, and maybe even take a cut in the listing price if needed. If it like needs a new roof, then you deduct that off the total because you're not going to fix the roof. But I feel like you're in control. Otherwise, then the buyers come in, if they do their inspections, the escrow period is what, average of 30 days. That only gives you a little bit of time to either get the repairs done at that time, negotiate for a credit. So now you're like reacting to the situation versus having it all up front and being in control. So
Mhm.
that's why we promote pre-list.
Yeah, and then we do our listing as realtors, if you're doing a listing presentation to a seller, that is something that you mention and upfront and say, this is an option for you. Not every seller is going to do that, but again, like you just said, you control the narrative when you understand what the things that are going to pop up are, and you can take a proactive approach to maybe some of the things that maybe were deferred maintenance in the house, like maybe there's some dry rot on the house or whatever. And we'll talk about what what different inspections are in just a second. But okay, so the
Wait,
benefit.
let me go back. I forgot one little part about that. Also, no one has seen the house, right? It's not on the market. It's not on MLS. There's no pictures of the home. So say you do the inspections and it needs like a whole, the brick veneer is messed up. And to call out brick veneer or replace the brick veneer, it's probably about $8,000. But if nobody's seen that brick veneer, they haven't fallen in love with the brick veneer, right? You can remove it because no, it's not on the market yet, and replace it with, a different type of siding that's a lot, less expensive. So that's another, I think, benefit to doing the pre-list inspections is you can fix the home as needed with a minimal cost,
Mhm.
pretty much.
Totally. It's all about presentation, right? Like that's the whole point of doing a pre-listing inspection is how can you present this home, put my best foot forward with the presentation of this home. And again, if you understand, and I think a lot of people have fear maybe of getting an inspection
Yeah.
because they're like, oh, I don't know
They
this,
don't want to know. They don't want to
yeah, I don't
know.
know what's underneath that, but you have to know, like if you're going to sell something, it's best to know upfront,
Yeah.
and it's better that you find out, I think, if you knew ahead of time versus letting somebody else come in with another inspector that you don't know and
Mm-hmm.
kind of laying a bombshell on you, like, oh gosh, I didn't know that, and then feeling that feeling about that takes the wind out of your sails or whatever,
Yeah.
about oh gosh, we wanted to list at this price, but now we have to give a reduction or to make an improvement or give a credit to
Yeah.
adjust for that. So it is best, I think, to have like you said, like a proactive approach to it. um, so that's on the listing side, and if you're a seller. On the buyer side, and again, this is where I kind of hang my hat these days, is explaining to a buyer how an inspection protects you from buying a home that maybe isn't quite right for you or whatever the case may be. But hopefully, we always say in real estate, there's no problem that's unsolvable in a real estate
Yep.
deal if you love the house. And so our job, I think, as realtors and an inspection people is to, again, uncover the things and show you as a buyer what your options are in a house. So I think it's obvious what the benefits are to using an inspector and an inspection company when you're doing as the buyer on the buyer side of things. But what's your take on the benefits of a buyer having inspections?
Well, you want to know what's going on with the home, right? If you have a termite inspection, that's known as a WDO inspection, so wood destroying organism inspection. And so they are looking for, termites, beetles, but also mainly what they're looking at is the dry rot around the house. And you kind of want to know how much is that going to cost you. It could be very minimal, but it could be a lot, right? And something that you don't want to get involved in if you're on the buying side. And then with the home inspection side, now that's a general inspection of the home. And we look at a home inspection as like when you go buy a new car, right? You get this manual, your user manual for your vehicle. That's kind of how we view a home inspection, right? They're going to lay out and give you kind of a user manual of the home, how it works, how much time left you have on your HVAC unit and the, electrical panel and whatnot. So they're there to give you a full rundown of the entire home and how it functions. So that's why it's super, super important because you want to know how to run the house. You want to know how things work, how much time is left, and what you need to replace. And so I think it's super important, no matter what side you're on, to get the inspections done.
And from the real estate side of things, so one of the things that we use, if on the buyer side, we use this inspection report that they submit back to us after you've done conducted the inspection. They put a really comprehensive report back together for you. On the real estate side of things, my job as a real estate agent, a realtor, is to go through this report with you as a buyer and just kind of identify the things that are, I would call, big ticket items or things that are, deal breakers or whatever, and then just have those discussions with you about what is your level of comfort with the things that are in this house? I think it's also important, and I tell this to everybody, is that an inspection is supposed to find things in the house. You're always going to find something, we'll call it wrong, in the house,
Yeah.
or some sort of an issue, because that's really what you want. You don't, even in a brand new home, you're not going to find like a spotless inspection report. You're going to find things, especially, and that's what you really are looking for with an inspector, is to find, anything that could potentially be an issue, um, so I always tell people, like, this is leverage. This is, having an inspection done is leverage for you in the deal. When you're buying a house, it gives you something that you can either feel confident about, or if you don't feel confident about it, go back to the seller with that report in hand and say, this is what we found. What are you going to do about it? How can we negotiate this? How can we fix this? And the idea there is to find a deal that works for everybody, and hopefully, you feel comfortable, the seller feels comfortable, and everybody knows it. Now, going back to the listing side of things, if the seller already had an inspection report done, then it gives you something, if you trust that report. And your guys' reports are amazing. They're really good. They're easy to navigate and check and see. I've seen some really god awful inspection reports where you're like, I can't find anything in this thing. Your guys' is very, like, very systematic and
Is it
organized,
out
and
nice?
it's really easy to find. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, I guess that answers my next question, which was, what happens if you find something? And that's it. You find a way around it. Now, part of an inspection services, inspection company's services is repairs, right? That's like a lot of what you guys do. Tell us a little bit about how you guys, like, if you found, let's say, stuff, you have a team in-house that fixes stuff.
Yeah, so so on the termite report side, so the WO inspection, that's broken down into section 1, section 2, section 3 within the report. Now section 1 would be your termites, your dry rot. Section 2 is like things that could potentially be a problem in the future, so like a loose toilet or whatnot. And then a section 3 is a further inspection. So that's like if they, for instance, if there's a bunch of stuff in the garage and they can't inspect around the wall of the garage, they're going to call it a further inspection to remove the item so they can at least get a full inspection in there. Or it could be something where they can't get into the sub area. And so that's super important, because you don't want to leave the house or not know what's going on in the sub area. So we would call out to open up access to get under there and take a look. But on that side, the termite side, is where you call out the repairs needed to fix what's going on in the home. Now, at Good Life, we do have our own in-house repair crew. So what's nice about that is it does save money. It also is nice because we can get in within the time frame, within an escrow period, to get the repairs done before it closes. We can also bill the repairs to escrow as well. So that's kind of a really nice benefit too. But with that, on the home inspection side, now this is where it gets kind of weird in a sense. Is the home inspection side, they're not licensed by the state, so they're not able to bid out the repairs needed on the home inspection report. But we are also able to refer you out to a specialist. If it calls out an HVAC person, we can have that person for you. A plumber, electrician, any of those, we can give you that referral. So that's the only side of it.
Yeah. Awesome. But it's good to know that you have all of those resources available to you too.
Yeah.
I have a note on here. It says, are there discounts for anybody? Like, do you guys do anything for vets or anything like that? Or do you do anything like that?
We, yes, definitely. For our veterans, we want to say thank you. So we give them a term, if they're a VA, we'll do the termite inspection for free when booked with the home inspection. Otherwise, it's just a straight $75 if they just need a termite inspection done. And then we also offer bundle discounts. So when a person is ordering multiple services within our company, we do the home, termite, roof, sewer lateral inspection, and also pool inspection. So within those services, if you ordered, 2 services, we'll give you $50 off. 3 services is $75 off, and 4 or more is $100 off. So we're always trying to help out as best we can.
Yeah. Yeah, I was telling you a little bit earlier that, I put out emails to my people before about, when you're buying a house, it can be kind of scary, or when you're selling a house, it can be kind of scary too. Like in the real estate, because you don't do this every day, there's a lot of unknown questions and answers that you don't, know. And it's, as a real estate person, it's good to know that you have this like group of people that are all kind of working together in collaboration with each other to get the house bought or sold. And inspection company is a key part of that. And so having a partner that you can count on, and Jen is one of those people that I really count on. Like sometimes, so Jen's a very busy person and she manages a bunch of stuff, but I can call her on the phone if I need something quickly. And she usually comes in a pinch. She saves the day on,
I
has
try.
saved the, yeah, you've saved the day for me many, many times. Speaking of saving the day, and like, I know Good Life does a lot of community outreach and those kinds of things. I know I asked you this earlier, so hopefully you've had a couple minutes to think about it, but what, are there any kind of like any feathers in your cap from the Good Life inspection services perspective, where recently you've done anything like that you're proud of as a company, or that kind of show the character of who you work for and what you represent?
Well, we always go above and beyond, I feel like, and we always make things right. If, jobs go sideways or inspections go sideways, we're there in support for our clients and our agents, and we always make sure that we make it right. If we messed up, we'll fix it, right? There is, there's so many stories that go around, and my focus is handling, my agents and my clients and making sure I get you guys scheduled, and my inspectors are great and whatnot. But we do have some instances where, for instance, we did an inspection. We did a sewer lateral. So it's the camera that goes from the house to the street to check the sewer line. And it showed clear, I believe. And so the couple moves in, they have a little baby, and now it's backed up. And so we went out. I have my vice president of the company was out at like midnight with our home inspector guy, literally making sure that that sewer line was clear because they had no water for their house and they have a newborn baby and whatnot.
Oh, man.
So, to go out at midnight to make sure that everything is fixing, in the house and they're able to function is pretty cool.
Yeah. Wow. Were you out there yourself with the flash? Like you personally?
No.
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 You had the big boots on.
I
Yeah.
should have. Yeah. My headlamp.
Yeah, totally. I can see that. Totally. Anything else that we can talk about, like that you want to like chat about, or that you feel is important that people should know about this part of a real estate transaction, or
I just
anything
want to
else?
say, like, as you mentioned, like, a real estate, buying a house is one of the biggest like transactions that families, couples go through, right, throughout their entire life. And just make sure that you do partner with somebody, an inspection company, a realtor who you know and trust, because you want them to be by your side for everything right throughout. It's a big transaction, even afterwards, right? You want to have that person you go to if anything goes wrong or you need some advice. We're always there for you. So super, super important to have your inspections done. And feel free to reach out to Good Life anytime. I'll help you out.
Awesome. And then I'll put your contact information in here, but you can reach out to me too. If you have questions about inspections in general or specifically, you can reach out to Jen. If you have questions about the whole process of buying anything, let me know. Obviously, this is what this is about, but well, thank you. I know I just want to keep this kind of short, and I really appreciate your time and this conversation. It's always fun to talk with you and hang out with you, and yeah,
I
thank you.
appreciate you, Dustin. Thank you.
Of
Thanks for
course.
having me.
You bet. No problem. All right, you guys. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. How do I stop this? Stop. Stop recording.